since the 1940s, after World War II, we got massive agricultural companies because everybody moved to the city. No one had farms at home. They were living in the city. They were working in manufacturing and jobs and stuff like that. People were making money, driving cars, living the fast life. Hey, it's great. Cool. And so the government stepped in and said, well, we need to go to monoculture farming. And when they went to monoculture farming, they needed, after a little while, the plants got weak because it wasn't diverse. It wasn't, they weren't crop rotating and getting minerals and plowing hemp back into the ground to reconstitute the soil and letting a year of fallow and the bacteria to grow. So what happened is the plants got weak. They said, we need fertilizer. We need fertilizer to make the plants go. So when the plants grew with fertilizer, nitrogen was added. The plants grew really fast, but they didn't have the mineral content. When they didn't have the mineral content, guess what? The plants became weak. They became susceptible to pests. So now fungus was getting them, bacteria were getting them, parasites are getting them, all kinds of bugs are eating them because the plants couldn't create the resistance to it. So what do they do? Well, we're going to invent chemical pesticides. We're going to kill the bugs. So we artificially grew the plants so they didn't have the content of the nutrients in it. The plants got weak. Then we started spraying with the bugs. So as they did that, now all these weird diseases started to come up. Birth defects started coming up. People can't procreate after 3 generations, just like expected. And they start relying on what? Antibiotics. What are antibiotics? They kill the bacteria. They kill the bacteria. They kill the virus.
It's like you can see social engineering at its best. That book is a microcosm of where we're at. Everything you described is exactly where society's at right now.
Exactly. So, and you can say it's a grand conspiracy or whatever. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It doesn't matter.
Who cares? We're here.
We're here.
We're here. That's
right
happening
now.
right now.
And we have the knowledge, and thank you for having me on here and sharing this, because I got myself into trouble. Like, I didn't learn this because I decided one day to figure this all out. I learned this because I screwed myself all up and I had to unscrew myself. And I had a guy that came along, Dr. Michael O'Brien, and he taught me about enzymes, and he taught me about probiotics, and he taught me about the digestive system, and he taught me about growing food and how these things worked. And I was like, oh man. And I started applying what he was doing, which is what I'm sharing with you right now. And guess what? It worked. I got my health back. I got my vitality back. And I made a commitment at that point. I said, I have been given this knowledge and information, and I'm going to go and carry this torch forward for the rest of my life to spread the good news that these things, by optimizing your digestion, you can transform your life. You can accelerate the speed of recovery and regeneration, because guess what? Every person listening to this has millions and millions of years of evolutionary survival mechanisms that you inherited. You've inherited 10,000 generations of people who have overcome every single adversity ever invented, every horror that ever been, every challenging situation, no food, starvation, war, disease, pestilence, bacteria stuff, infections, cancer, heart disease, blood sugar dysregulation, mutation, everything. You've inherited the blueprint, the successful way to overcome that. The reason we're all here is that we have an unbroken line of ancestors from the very beginning. So that's the good news. What we're here to do is say, hey, guess what? If you want to activate your inner success blueprint, it's in your DNA right now, just screaming, hey, I got the plan, just give me the goods. These are the goods that will help you deliver it. And that's what's so important about your work, Gary, and what makes, I think, Human Garage so unique is that you've been able to access the bioenergetic aspect of what's blocking the communication from the DNA to the various parts of your body by uncorking these aspects. And that just makes everything I shared today work even better.
That's the point, is that, people are trying so hard like us to figure it out. And the figuring it out was really simple. Take out the stress, digest your food better, move your body. And when you do that, everything else comes back together, because our body, we're trying to fix something that's greater than us. We're trying to use this little pea brain of 100 billion neurons to try and fix this 100 trillion neuron computer, and it's not working because this ain't smart enough to fix this. This has all the intelligence.